In Heartland Season 17, Episode 8, after his ex-wife accepted a job offer in Kelowna, Caleb faces the possibility of losing custody of his son Carson. This conundrum forces him to make a difficult decision that can lead to his split from Amy, which would be extremely upsetting. The episode opened with a stunning vaulting demonstration from mother-daughter combos Sophia and Monica. But after a while, Verona the horse abruptly altered speed, forcing Sophia the vaulter to hastily leave the routine. Amy's clients informed her that this had been going on for over a month and that they urgently needed Amy to find out why Verona was acting out, because they had a big competition in Europe the next week. Amy hurried to check on them to make sure they were okay. While acknowledging that a week isn't enough time to fully investigate the matter, Amy pledged to try her best. Thinking that Verona might not enjoy constantly spinning in circles, she began by cross-training Verona in jumping, pole bending, and lunging. That wasn't the case, though, since each time Amy threw something new at him, the horse was sound and performing its duties just as required. Which is why she began to think that this might not be so much about Verona after all. So Amy asked Sophia to the ranch without her mom so they could talk. But Sophia defended her mother, assuring Amy that Monica only had Sophia's best interests in mind. When Amy suggested that they attempt Sophia's routine instead, with Amy lunging the horse, Sophia was hesitant to comply. When Sophia finally agreed to give it a go, Amy saw something odd. Despite Verona's constant speed shift, Sophia leaped off her routine once more in the middle of it. Sophia explained to Amy that she lost her balance because Verona changed speed once more when Amy questioned her about why she had bailed. However, Amy was aware that this wasn't the case. Verona was flawless, so it was obvious that something else was going on. Amy made the decision to go to Maggie's and speak with Logan, who is now a waiter there, because she was at a loss for what to do, mainly to inquire as to if she stage managed his resignation after witnessing how adamantly Monica was pressuring Sophia. However, he also offered Amy an alternative viewpoint on what might be happening with her clients after reassuring her that she didn't. In a video that Logan played for Amy, Sophia and her mother were practicing when Sophia tumbled off Verona. Amy immediately assumed that Sophia would now be afraid that it would happen again, but Logan had a different idea. Perhaps Sophia jumped off Verona, while Amy was lunging at him to defend her mother, rather than the horse or the vaulter being the issue. Naturally, this forced Amy to have a tough talk with her customers, but in the end, she was able to get Monica and Sophia to be honest about their true feelings. Sophia acknowledged that she jumped off Verona when Amy lunged, and that her reason for doing so wasn't merely her fear of getting injured again. Finally, Monica acknowledged that her performance was suffering, since she was only thinking about Sophia falling again as she lunged Verona following her fall. But things didn't quite end the way Amy had hoped. Following a tender exchange of sentiments between Sophia and Monica regarding how much they value their ability to vault together, Monica made the decision to no longer be Sophia's lunger, which grieved Sophia. Luckily, Sophia and Monica were able to patch things up and get back on track with the assistance of Lindy, of all people. Lindy approached Sophia to tell her how much she loved the tricks Sophia performed on Verona as she and Monica were packing Verona to leave Heartland. Sophia then told the young girl to never give up on her own self-belief. When Monica heard Sophia mention how her only childhood aspiration had been to win a championship in vaulting, she became worried that Sophia might not have had that desire in the first place, and that Monica had imposed it on her daughter. Sophia reassured her mother, nonetheless, that it was and remains her dream. When Monica eventually confided in her daughter, Sophia told her mother that she had never felt pressured into anything, and that if Sophia ever got wounded, it would be Monica's fault because she believed she had forced her into vaulting. Subsequently, Sophia acknowledged that her favorite aspect of vaulting is the opportunity to participate with her mother. After hearing this, Amy urged the two to get vaulting together one more time because it was obvious that Sophia didn't require a new lunger and that Monica only needed to relax a little. And lo and behold, the regimen proceeded flawlessly, strengthening the mother-daughter relationship and enabling them to pursue their common goal. And because Logan had played a significant role in helping Amy figure out how to aid her clients. At the end of the episode, Logan showed Amy his new truck when he got to the ranch, right in time for Amy to invite him to come see Sophia and Monica's routine. Which made Logan ask Amy if he could return and acknowledge that he was wrong to give up on horse training. Caleb's storyline this season was arguably the hardest because he was on the danger of losing his son, while Amy was taking care of her vaulting clients. Heartland Season 17 Episode 8 opened with Caleb and Cass getting into a furious phone argument, after which Caleb punched a wall. That was a sign of how horrible things were already. And after his phone call, Caleb explained what was going on to Tim when he was asked what was wrong. It seems that Cass, who wants to take Carson with her to British Columbia, is suing Caleb for full custody of Carson after landing a fantastic job in Kelowna, and Caleb was having none of it. He couldn't imagine seeing Carson just every other weekend and on some holidays. Luckily, Caleb had Tim to assist him handle it. He had also experienced something similar with Miranda and Shane, so he was full of fantastic advice. Tim advised Caleb to try talking to Cass in a calm and non-aggressive manner because he was aware that conflicts and rage only result in worse situations and have the potential to irreparably harm Caleb and Cassandra's relationship. Additionally, Tim told Amy that Caleb was going through some incredibly difficult times and that he currently needed a supportive buddy, which Amy was unaware of because it appears that their relationship hasn't really returned to normal since Caleb kissed her in episode 6. However, Amy didn't let it deter her from supporting her closest friend. And when she went to talk to Caleb about what was going on, we discovered that it didn't matter that Caleb tried to talk to Cass quietly as Tim had instructed. Lawyers were now being involved on both sides as Cass was adamant about taking Carson with her, which meant that, should the need arise, Caleb was preparing for a fight, possibly in court. Tim and Amy expressed their apprehension about involving Carson in a legal dispute between his parents later on. However, Caleb was set on this. He couldn't bear the notion of losing Carson's custody and felt compelled to oppose Cass. And despite Tim's advice that Cass isn't acting spitefully, that she just happened to land a great position in BC, and that Caleb could still be in Carson's life without going to court, Caleb saw no other option than to go to court. In an attempt to gain complete custody of Carson, he even requested Amy to serve as his character reference. However, after talking with Carson and asking him how he would feel if Carson moved to Hudson to live with him full-time and then ran away furious, Caleb came to the realization that, despite his anger at Cass for treating them this way, he must act in his son's best interests, which is to ensure that Carson has both of his parents in his life. Caleb therefore announced his move to Kelowna to Amy and Tim at the gallery opening celebration. First of all, Tim received an apology from Caleb for abruptly quitting the rodeo school and leaving Tim without a job. But Tim reassured Caleb that since he's going for his son, it's the proper thing to do. There was nothing to apologize for. However, Caleb surprised Amy again when Tim left. He was going to leave tomorrow in order to assist in choosing Carson's new school. Even though Amy was obviously surprised, she still managed to tell Caleb that she would miss him before he left the party to apologize for ruining the mood with his unsettling news. Amy went after Caleb after their awful farewell, and they had a proper one outside the gallery entrance. After giving each other a final hug and saying "I love you," Caleb left, leaving Amy to watch him go. Does this imply that Kerry James will be permanently leaving the show? Since neither the program nor the cast have released any formal statements, I'm not sure. Furthermore, several characters have been on the program occasionally over the years, so there's a potential they could still do so as long as they're still alive, which Caleb is. He just moved. After much anticipation since episode 3, Jessica and Lou's gallery finally opened in this episode. Lou and Jessica were shown completing the gallery's finishing touches at the beginning of the show. Although Lou made fun of Jessica for leaving her behind and forcing her to complete the renovations alone, it appeared that Jessica ignored Lou's jab in favor of preparing the gallery for public viewing. Jessica, however, was unable to ignore Lou's spur-of-the-moment decision to convert a portion of the gallery into a cafe in order to supplement the gallery's revenue. The fact that Lou had placed an order for the cafe's finest espresso machine before Jessica was even aware of Lou's concept was more significant. Even though they still hadn't thoroughly discussed or decided on the cafe idea, Lou then surprised Jessica the following morning with a full cafe setup at the gallery. Jessica was even more frustrated with Lou since the far wall, where Lou had arranged the cafe cart and tables, was intended for a large artist Jessica was attempting to hire. Jessica then asked Lou directly what she thought of the gallery. Jessica told Lou that the gallery means far more to her than simply a place to show off her artwork, after Lou stammered her way through a half-answer about a chance to highlight regional artists and increase tourism to Hudson. Jessica believes that the gallery will become a meeting point for different kinds of artists because of the grant they were able to get. Furthermore, a coffee house didn't quite fit into that plan. Lou was clearly unhappy even though, following Jessica's explanation, she understood what Jessica was trying to say. After telling Jessica that she would close the cafe, she left and went home, leaving Jessica shocked that Lou had really abandoned her. So when the day of the gallery opening arrived, Lou went to support Jessica even though she had given up on the project. However, Jessica was upset with Lou, not just for abandoning her to handle things on her own, but also for ending their relationship so abruptly. Lou was about to explain her departure when Lisa and Jack approached them to congratulate them on the gallery, so at least their small conversation didn't get too hot. However, it was obvious that Jessica was still upset and that she didn't want to speak with Lou. Lou was left with no choice except to apologize to Jessica in public. Jessica appeared a little afraid of what Lou was going to say at first, but by the end of the speech, she was touched, if a little perplexed. Thus, when Jessica approached Lou and expressed her amazement at Lou's remarks, Lou acknowledged that she ought to have told Jessica all of that sooner. Lou clarified that she left the gallery in order to locate something that would hold the same significance for her as the gallery does, not because Jessica didn't want to participate in the complete cafe experience, and Lou needs time for it to occur. At last, Jessica had a better understanding of Lou and her reasons, and they laughed heartily about how nice it was to collaborate again, just like they had in New York, even though, similarly to New York, there had been a few occasions during their gallery partnership when Jessica had wanted to fire Lou. Jack confided in Lou that he was worrying about his future for the first time while they were out on a ride. This was all about his cattle business, not about his family or his marriage to Lisa. The family was shown kicking about a can of beef stew with Jack's picture on it at the start of the episode. It turns out that Garland Foods, the grocery chain where Heartland beef is sold, has been struggling ever since the opening of the bargain food chain Crown Shoppers. In an attempt to increase sales, Jack has been persuaded by Fred Garland to release additional Heartland beef products. The beef stew in a can is one of them. However, Jack thought this concept was a little desperate, so he wasn't sold on it. Even though Tim didn't like it either, he believed that they were unable to turn down Fred for fear of losing their deal with Garland entirely. Lou attempted to persuade her grandfather that Heartland beef had grown to be such a powerful and reliable brand that it was unlikely to happen. Even nevertheless, Jack remained pessimistic about the future because fewer people were purchasing their goods now that they could purchase at Crown Shoppers. But Lou also made a valid argument. Heartland beef won't magically come back to life thanks to canned stew. If they start selling a product that is of poor quality, it may actually have the reverse effect and harm their reputation. That is a genuine possibility as well, given that Jack and Tim would have no control over the quality of the canned products. Lou's point of view and her suggestion to not put your trust in Fred to defend the Heartland beef brand seems to have made a big impression on Jack. However, it went beyond that. When Lou mentioned that their family was the only ones who could truly safeguard the Heartland beef brand, it seems like something snapped in her head as well. Thus, we saw Lou approach Jack and Tim to a meeting at the end of the episode and invite her to join the family business. Lou inquired if there was a way she could use her expertise to help with the cattle business, because her greatest passion is their family, and that manifested itself in Lou representing Heartland beef's best interests when dealing with Garland Foods. When Lou entered Katie's room early in the episode, we saw her experimenting on her dress for the gallery opening. After complimenting her daughter on her appearance, Lou said that this outfit would be ideal with the heart-shaped necklace she had given Katie for her birthday. Unbelievably, Katie used the proceeds from the sale of that necklace to purchase her motocross bike. Naturally, Lou was now aware of dirt biking. She was unaware of Katie's payment method for her bike, though. To Lou's credit, Lou remained cool when Katie revealed that she intended to sell the jewelry in order to purchase a dirt bike. All she said to Katie was that it made logic, and Lou informed Katie that she understood when Katie apologized to her. Lou obviously felt wounded that Katie had sold her necklace, even as she tried not to talk to her about it and pretended to be all right about it. And when Lisa brought up the fact that Lou had purchased the necklace as a representation of Katie and Lou's growing intimacy, Katie realized she had to make things right. Thus, Katie made the decision to repurchase the necklace following a lengthy bike ride. Fortunately, the retailer to whom she sold it still owned it. However, they demanded the full payment, which Katie is presently unable to pay. Lisa offered to lend Katie the money because she was her confidant in this situation. She declined, insisting that she had to take care of it alone. Katie obviously had a strategy, and it included Lisa assisting her in her haggling. Katie stunned her mother by wearing the necklace when she entered her room at the time of the exhibition opening. Lou was naturally a little perplexed as to how the necklace had ended up back around Katie's neck, But Katie didn't waste any time in telling her mother that she had purchased the necklace back. Although Lou was moved, she made it clear that her real anger was with herself for first rejecting Katie's suggestion to go dirt biking, rather than with Katie for selling the necklace. To further support Katie's new hobby, Lou even purchased her a new dirt bike helmet. Lou was unaware, though, that Katie had sold the dirt bike in order to reclaim the necklace. Then, when Lou became concerned that Katie was acting in that way, Katie clarified that she had made the decision to sell the bike. It dawned on her that she didn't need a dirt bike to be friends with Ellie and Brandon. She had only taken up dirt biking because she believed they wouldn't want to be her friends if she didn't ride. She did love the hobby, to be sure, but riding was her true passion. Lou also recognized Katie's perspective. The two parted on much better terms than when they had met, with her even praising her daughter for understanding what her passion was. Finally, I wanted to draw attention to a brief sequence that will, in my opinion, be very important in the upcoming episode. While perusing Jessica's photo collection at the gallery opening, Jack noticed that she had included one of his. It wasn't just any old photo either. It was the one when Jack was in the family cemetery, standing beside a headstone. To make matters worse, Jessica took the picture without Jack's knowledge. He didn't even realize Jessica was present, and then she shared it publicly without getting his consent. When Lisa found out about this, she asked Jack how he was doing. He said he was just astonished. But Jack wasn't as fine as he claimed to be based on the expression on his face. Furthermore, I believe it has something to do with this picture, because the following episode's premise indicates that Jessica will be trying to mend a split with Jack.